Oh, hi Bill, and welcome to the programme, and thank you for agreeing to this interview all the way from Nova Scotia to Manchester in the UK.
Thank you, David. It's nice to be with you.
Yeah. And quite a few thousand miles between us, but it helps you with the wonders of technology to be able to share.
Yeah, that's right. It makes everybody close in the world, that's for sure.
Yeah, so you're in Nova Scotia now. You were actually born in Halifax, weren't you?
I was born in Halifax, yeah. And then when I was 1 year old, we moved to a little town about an hour west.
Right.
A little town called Stewiacke.
Okay.
And small population, probably about 2,000 people.
Right. And so you grew up in the sort of religious way. You're mixed with you. I mean, your father was a Baptist and your mother went to the Catholic Church. So did you spend some time in both those situations, or?
Not so much. No, not really, because my dad, he never drove. He never had a driver's license, so we never had a car.
Right.
And we were about a mile out of town from the nearest church, so we never got to go there a lot. There's 7 in my family, so Mom was pretty well, at home taking care of us. And my dad, he worked on the railroad, as you mentioned, and he was away 3 days and home 3 days. So it kept us pretty busy at home.
Yeah, so religion really didn't play a big part in your life in the early days, really?
No, not really, not at all, no. Although we did talk about religion, but mostly on a spiritual level.
Right. So, as I say, they were obviously, they had some beliefs, but how would you describe your childhood and the way you were brought up? A large family, of course, I mean.
Large family, yeah, but a close family.
Right.
And as I say, we never really got out around a whole lot, and so we just kind of had to make our own time, our own fun type thing, and basically learn to get along with one another, and things like that.
Right, that's fine. And you obviously music is a big part of your life, and you got interested quite early. What's your earliest memories of being interested in music?
Well, my dad, he grew up in the same town that Hank Snow grew up. And,
right. Wow, that's big time country music, huh?
Yeah, so he was a real big fan of Hank Snow, so he played a lot of his music at home when I was growing up. And my mom, she was on the other side. She was more interested in singers like Jim Reeves and Perry Como and stuff like that. So she played a lot of that music. So I got a little bit from both directions there, but really took an interest in music and the way they performed and had so many fans and stuff like that, and really got interested. I got my first guitar when I was 8 years old, but never really did anything with it till I was about 14, and then I learned to play that and started playing out a little bit on local benefit shows and stuff like that, and got going that way, and meet so many people in music and playing music, and it's really a universal language, they say, and I can really tell where that comes from when they say that.
Yeah. So were there any people at that time who were a big influence on you musically? Any of your favourites, or did you just like music and you went with that?
I like Jim Reeves, and of course Hank Snow, where he was from Nova Scotia too, he was kind of an attraction, for me, the way he was that way. And there were some local people in our town that played music and played guitar and stuff, so that kind of got me interested that way.
Right. So then you said it was when you started working that you entered the church life yourself. How would you explain what happened? then at that
Yeah,
time?
okay. Well, I did get a job in a grocery store.
Mm.
As most young people start out their working days, I think, in a grocery store, stocking shelves and things like that. And then I got married, of course, and had two children, two girls, and so we started attending church on a regular basis, and like knew a bit about the background of the churches and religion a bit, and got going there. So then I got more involved in that and became a treasurer of the church for quite a few years and stuff like that.
Right. So that was obviously you started to spend more of your life there. Did it? How would you say it changed you? Was anything profound, or was it just something you felt drawn to, and that was your way of life at the time? Was there anything in particular that?
Yeah, it was my way of life at that time. Having children, I think it's good to lead them in that direction.
Yeah.
With the closeness of the spirit and of course, and so it's just you start them young, and I never had that opportunity when I was young,
Right.
growing, to be able to do that, and I think it's a step in the right direction for young children to have that opportunity and for the parents to give them that opportunity to do that.
Yeah. So, was there any moment that you felt a conversion, or did that come to you over time? Nothing that really stands out, or was it a very gradual thing?
Was that a conversion from to?
I mean,
sure.
To it meaning more to you, in the sense of the inner peace or the Holy Spirit. I was brought up in the Pentecostal church. I think in the States and Canada you'd call it Episcopalian, maybe.
Okay.
And I just grew up in it, and I suppose it was what I was told to do, so I did it, and then
Yeah.
I just grew away,
Right.
in a sense. So, but you've always stayed in contact with the church, have you? In that way, or different times of your life?
I stay in contact with the church, I think, basically because of my inner beliefs of helping one another.
Mm.
Not so much in the religious, laws or whatever they have, church beliefs and stuff like that. But I'm more attracted to the inner peace and the helping of others
Right.
through the spiritual outlook on life.
Yeah. So you talked about your spiritual life and reading books. Was there any particular book or author that you can say that helped you on your path?
Well, it's funny when at least I can speak from my point of view. Growing up, I always knew there was something within, and to find an answer, maybe that would satisfy your mind that this is what I feel, or this is the inner peace that I sense. Now I know what it is,
Yeah.
and it's hard to get answers on that.
Yeah.
I found a church, a religion. They have their beliefs, but when it comes to communicating or sitting down discussing inner peace or feelings of the Holy Spirit within,
Yeah.
I find it hard to talk to Christians or even ministers or whatever about that feeling. It almost seems like, well, I'll put it, they have a job and this is their job and this is what they do. Like, to me, it's a step beyond what they do that really means a lot to me, as far as an inner peace feeling. And, helping others to reach that point in their life of satisfaction, through spirituality and inner peace.
Yeah. So would you say that now that your music is part of your message of getting across to people, and do you feel that's there's a closeness in the music and the message maybe that you would like to put out?
Yeah, I think you're right, David, there, because as we all know, we're all given gifts, in our lives. The gift you may have is totally different from my gift, but it's a gift from God, and He gives it to us to share to others, through us.
Yeah.
And I think that my music, for me, I'm really blessed with that, and I appreciate being able to go out there and do that in front of people.
Yeah.
And it also gives me a sense of feeling that maybe people see me in a light of peace and enjoyment in life.
Right.
That way.
So you said that in your bio your first performance was on stage when you were 17 to an audience of 500. That's quite a big thing for a young man of 17.
It was, and it was kind of funny too, because I always wanted to do that, and I went to local benefit shows and stuff when I was a kid, and I always wanted to be up there myself and do that. Well, then when the time came and I had the opportunity to do that and go out there, when I got out on stage and saw all those people in front of me looking at me, the first thing that entered my mind is, what am I doing out here?
Yeah.
I wanted it so bad, but then when you get it, you wonder,
Yeah.
what am I doing out here? But after I got that night over with, I never looked back, and I really enjoy my music and performing and meeting people, and I really enjoy people.
Right. Yeah, that's a big part of it, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Music's a wonderful way of reaching people, and especially country music. I have quite a special feeling for country music. It reaches part of your heart that other types of music don't reach, maybe.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And yeah, it's so. Have you been actually performing since then, or has it been a regular basis for several years that you've?
Yeah, I do it. I guess you would say, like, on a amateur way. I don't do it for a living. I find that, to me, that's a good thing, not doing it for a living, because then you're not committed day and night, with it. And I think once that happens, you lose the enjoyment, and it becomes a job, and then, you just take it for granted, and you don't really appreciate that gift as much.
Yeah. So are other members of your family musical? Is your wife and your children?
My wife sings.
Yeah,
she doesn't play the guitar, but she sings, and she's from out the other end of Canada, out Vancouver way.
Yeah.
And so she sings, and I play the guitar for her while she sings, and then I'll sing some stuff, songs, and play the guitar. And we do a lot of gospel shows.
Yeah.
And right now, December the 1st, which is next Sunday, we're doing a Christmas gospel program at a little church about an hour away from here. Yeah. And I don't know how old the church would be, but it would be well over 100 years old. And all they have in it for a source of heat is an old wood stove. So it really, the setting is really nice there. And we've done that for 3 years now, and it's a real good time. I look forward to it.
Right. So when did you first meet your wife? Was that young? Was that in your 20s or earlier? And I know you to say you did it. Was religion? Were you both of a similar nature as far as, say, religion and that sort of thing? Was it, or you obviously you bring your children up, do you, to with the same values maybe that your own parents?
Yeah, well, my wife now is my second wife.
Right. Okay.
My first wife was the lady that I had the two girls, my two daughters with.
Right.
Still very close to them and see them.
That's good.
As a matter of fact, my oldest daughter was at the concert last night that we played at.
Yeah.
And so got to spend time with her, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And, but no, my wife now, she was from Vancouver. She moved to Nova Scotia, and we've been married now for 11 years.
Right.
And it just seems like yesterday we got married.
Yeah.
It's just, and we have a great connection there, spiritual beliefs. Hers is very similar to mine, and we get along very, very easy to talk to one another about the spiritual and inner peace and stuff like that. And yeah, really, and I'm very blessed,
Yeah, and you have that love of music you can share. I mean, that's for you to be a player and your wife to sing. I mean, that's
yeah, and it's good too, David, because so many times the husband or the wife will be singing, performing, but the husband is not involved in that.
Yeah.
And there again, I feel blessed because it's something we both do together as husband and wife, and it's a togetherness thing that we can do together.
Yeah. So how much of your life do you spend on music? Is that something you have regular engagements that you do, or someone knows you and they'll recommend you? Or?
Yeah, well, like I say, locally, I play quite a bit. I would say on average, 1 to 2 times a week, on average. And some weeks I'm not playing at all, but then maybe another week I might play 5 nights out of 7.
Yeah.
Doing stuff. So it varies.
Right.
And like I say, a lot of it is benefit stuff to help people. Don't make practically nothing playing, I guess, as most musicians do today. But I look at it as a hobby and fulfilling enjoyment in my life.
Yeah. Are there any particular organisations you play for, or is it just the organisations that you're involved with, or does that?
Well, just like you say, if something is going on and they want me to participate in it, they will call me, and I would go. Last night, the show we did was for a preschool organization to raise money for preschool kids to buy supplies and stuff like that. Yeah. And we raised $1,000 for them for that. So they were pleased with that. But on a regular basis, I do a Salvation Army coffee house the first Saturday of every month here locally. And that's been going now ever since 1985. The first Saturday of every month since 1985, it's been going.
Yeah.
And we're still doing it.
They're a great organisation, aren't they?
They are.
Any organisations that have as much worldwide respect as the Salvation Army. I've never quite put my finger on it, but there's something about them that people will respect them, and they'll walk into a bar, and people will moderate their behaviour and the language because they're there, and there's a respect. Even if people don't particularly agree with what the Salvation Army do, they'll still respect them because they do so much for the community, don't they? I think that's one of the things.
That's right. And I think worldwide they do so much good, for people that are in need.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a lot of the attraction for me doing their coffee house every month on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's because what they do is what I believe in.
Yeah. They really walk the talk because their life is helping others, and that's right. Couldn't really have a better reason for your life than that.
Yeah. And I guess it comes down to it. That's what we're all here for.
Yeah.
Is to help one another.
We find different ways of doing that, and I know you're very interested in St. Francis, and you brought to our attention a wonderful sort of piece of music about that.
Yes.
And that's, it's a very special time, a great way to use your life to use St. Francis as an example who is in service to others, and that where we gain the most. And that's something I really try as much as I can to do. And I know we have a friend, a mutual friend, Sean Bradley. And how did you first get in touch with Sean or know about him?
I went on a website. It was called Spiritual Networks.
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar with that or
yes,
not.
I am.
Sean was a member of it then, and he invited me to join his website, Heart to Soul. And so I accepted and became a member of that, which I'm really glad I did, because it's a spiritual family website.
Yeah.
And it's something that I was looking for on the website, because it's more on the spiritual line, more so than a lot of the other websites that you can go on that really doesn't mean anything to me.
Right.
And you have that closeness on that website. So yeah, I think it's great.
And there's a lot of common ground between the people there, and I really admire Sean for bringing us all together, and also the channel that we're this interview is going to be broadcast on. It's something that it's taken quite a few years to develop, and there have been times when things haven't gone so well, but Sean's had that strength of vision to keep it all going, and it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, and well, it's like anything I guess you do. There's always going to be little snags here and there, and little problems arise, but you hang on and persevere, and it all works out for the best.
Yeah.
And I've had a few personal messages back from Sean, and so we communicated that way, which was really good, a great help to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly put me in contact with several people around the world, and you're my first contact in Canada, so that was
I really feel good about that.
Yeah, and quite a few in the US. And there's two in England. We have New Zealand, so it's literally worldwide. And hopefully through interviews like this and other people being involved, we can get to know about each other and just maybe share some things about our lives and learn. We can learn from each other, I think, and more people that become involved and do something about that, because as you say, there are a lot of these what's called social networks around, and they're okay. But,
they're just a passing thing, though. I think more of a fad type thing, where I think this website here is something that will last, because it's given people satisfaction, a closeness to one another as a spiritual family. Even though you may be on the other side of the world, you can communicate with those people and have some compassion for them and their troubles. And we all think that our problems is so remote from everybody else's, and if we only talk to one another and shared with one another, we would all find that our problems are basically the same.
Yeah, and someone out there has been through maybe something that might be troubling us, so it does help to have some common ground with people.
Yes, that's true.
But certainly St. Francis and is one of the guiding forces, shall we say, but also the internet. There's so much. I mean, yes, there's some negative side about the internet, but there's also a positive side, and I think live stream, our channel, and the website play a strong part in that.
Yeah, that's true, because you hear so much about the internet and about computers, and even to a point where some people I've even heard say that the computer is just Satan's toy. Uh,
Yeah.
that's kind of going the wrong way, and I guess it's like anything in life. It's how you perceive it, how you use it. Like I think the internet and computers is the greatest thing because I use it in a positive way,
Yeah.
not in a negative way.
That's right.
And,
It can spread the message around and reach several people around the world, and it's just a great thing. I mean, it must be probably maybe the mid-90s I started getting involved in that, and it's sort of grown to what we know now, and the technology. You can have a cell phone and you can call someone on the other side of the world, or you can watch something on it, and
I know, just the same as you and I are doing right now.
yeah,
It's amazing.
and people that have those things, and it'd be nice for younger people to be involved as well, and hopefully there'll be enough variety in what the programming we can provide that'll maybe attract that. And I'm always interested in knowing about other parts of the world, and if there are anyone that feels they have a personal growth story to tell, I'm happy to talk to them and just see where we can go with this. And I've made some great friends around the world, and I look forward to doing more of that and finding out about their lives. So the more we share, sometimes we can get a bit too caught up in our own lives, and the more people we can know about and communicate with, and it puts your life, I think, in a perspective where if you're sharing with other people and you're open to knowing more about what they want to do and what's right for them.
That's right. I think that's the key word, is being open.
Yeah.
And learning from others, and and like I say, have compassion for one another and love for one another, and I think life is great.
Sure. So to people who don't know your area very well, how would you describe it? Is it exactly where it is, and what sort of a place is Halifax and Nova Scotia in general? Because you spent a lot of time in Nova Scotia, so I'm always interested in knowing more about it. It's an area I've been aware of, but until I met you, then I haven't really known much about it. So
most people would know where Halifax was in Nova Scotia. It's the capital of Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And where I'm at now is probably about an hour west of Halifax.
Yeah.
And it's along the edge, right along the edge there, a little place sticking out a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's sort of up northern from like Bermuda, where Bermuda is up, and there's a little channel that comes up through, and we get any storms from down that way that comes up through, like a hurricane or anything, usually comes up through that funnel and heads towards Nova Scotia, and we're always hoping that it'll make a turn before it reaches us.
Yeah.
And usually from the Gulf Stream will push it out the other way, and it's good. The weather's good here.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that we live in igloos, but that's not so. But no, the winters are good, and the seasons change. Like spring comes and the leaves come on the trees, and the weather warms up, and we have a great summer here. And like I was telling you earlier, that our temperatures here in the summer can go as high as 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Not Fahrenheit, but Celsius.
Yeah.
So it's nice, and it's nice to have the seasons. I don't think I'd want to live in a place where the season is the same year around.
No, that's right.
Either hot all, for 12 months or cold for 12 months, because it's always nice to have that change and in the seasons.
Yeah, and I've had some contact with Native American people, and that's they have a very profound quality of life. And do you come into contact? I mean, in the Nova Scotia, is it the Inuit? Is that the right way to describe them now, or like they have the indigenous people? You know, shall we say the original inhabitants, like the Native Americans? Do you have? I know they are there in Canada. I'm not quite sure whereabouts. Are they located all over, or I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much all over. They're not all in one, designated area as far as that goes. Yeah, they're pretty much, they live throughout,
Yeah.
Nova Scotia, and yeah.
Yeah, they do they keep to themselves, or is that something that they're out there, but it may be that there's not a lot of communication. They have their lives and they're respected by other people, and I think there's Indigenous people. I've had contact with Aboriginal people in Australia, Native American people in the US, and they have a very interesting concept of life, and there's a lot we can learn from them, because I know, as you will, going back into the distant past, there's been a lot of really awful things done to the original inhabitants of countries like Australia and Canada and the US.
Right, yeah. No, there are some native people that they live on a reserve, but they're still out in the community.
Yeah.
Some of them have stores. They would have their own like a grocery store or convenience store or whatever, and they're just one of us. And I don't really think they're any different. I mean, we're all created the same, and we look at them that way. And no, I don't really see anything other than I see them around. I know quite a few of them, friends with a lot of them.
Yeah.
And like you say, we can learn a lot from them.
Right.
A lot of their old beliefs, and especially in medicine.
Yeah.
What they believe, I think, is really interesting.
Yeah. So, as far as already that you call spiritual communities there, or is it just people? Obviously, you have spiritual beliefs and religious beliefs, and is it something that people talk about much in your area, or I know the internet's a great thing for around the world, but locally, is there much going on in that way where you think, or is it just a matter of people doing what they can to help each other without any particular affiliation with a?
Not a lot of spiritual people. A few I know a few here locally where I live, but no, not a lot. A lot of Christian people.
Yeah.
Well, they have their own church, and that's what they go to, and they basically, work in their own church groups and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd like to think there was quite a lot of common ground these days between religious groups. I just feel there is over the last few years. There's more of a desire to know what someone else's religion is about, and I think that's a very, very healthy thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I find a lot of religions that they sort of live in a box, if you know what I mean. And if you don't fit in that box, you kind of don't fit.
Yeah.
Type thing. And I'm not like that. Like, I have friends that are they're millionaires.
Right.
I have friends that have nothing. So I guess my box is pretty big, and I don't care who climbs in it. I love them the way they are.
Yeah, that's right. It's the person behind the superficial circumstances, isn't it? That counts.
That's true. Yes, that's right.
And how I think I suppose some people have said that politics is a necessary evil, but sometimes it's nice to get away from politicians and work in communities I think there's a lot of potential in that, rather than waiting for someone to pass something down on us from up there. And I'm very much a community-minded person. And
Yeah, me too.
I think
Yeah,
there's more.
roll your sleeves up and help one another.
Yeah, and there's a lot more potential in that for improvement in society than in politicians who they have their place, shall we say.
That's
but I
right.
think a lot of people in local areas can do a lot by just getting together and seeing what they can do to help others and to make the world a better place.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah,
I think it's important that we do something with our lives as individuals. We all find our different ways of doing that, but to make a difference and make the world a better place, and I think that's probably one of the best ways, best concepts you can have about what to do with your life. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's right. So maybe we've got a few more minutes, and I don't know if there's anything you want to share with people about what you believe in and what you would like to see happen, or you're just obviously very comfortable in what you're doing. You do a great job with I call it a ministry. A singer like yourself, it's a great way of communicating with people. I don't have that musical gift, but I really respect others that do, and it can be used to made of good use by bringing people together. And
yeah, I think that is right. Bringing people together and looking at them inwardly, looking at their inner peace and their feelings and stuff like that. And I know we can all help one another so much by searching that in each other, rather than judging people or condemning people for what they do. Because I was reading an article here the other day, and it said that don't judge people's sins just because they sin differently than you do. And I thought, that is pretty good, and a lot of people do that, and I may even do it myself, but I guess basically the thing is to try and stay connected, live a peaceful life, live a happy life. I know there's a lot going on out there, a lot of turmoil, a lot of things happening in the world, and it's easy to get caught up into that. And I think the more we stay aware of our own feelings and what we want, and of course what we want and what everybody wants is to love one another and be at peace with ourselves and be at peace in this world.
Yeah, that's and we can all contribute to making the world a better place, and
that's true. Yeah,
and that's I think there needs to be some purpose, and some find it in religion, some find it in spirituality, or some have a combination of the two. I don't think it matters what you call it. It's, to me, what's important is what you do with your life, and how you can use whatever gifts you have to bring people together. So
right.
So we'll look forward to more people coming maybe into our internet community, and I'd certainly hope that others will be inspired to come forward like yourself. And
I hope they do too, David. And like I say, this is what we need to change the world. And if we want the world to change, I think we have to be the change.
Oh yeah, that's a great concept, isn't it? Because things in the past, a lot of things that we take for granted now have happened because someone took that challenge and said, right, well, not sure what they can do. One person can change the world in that sense, where you can do something. We can all do something. There's no one that can't do anything and not contribute to.
That's right. And sometimes I'll tell people, if we could only work like ants.
Yeah.
If we could only work like ants, one ant can't do anything, but look what a colony of ants can build.
Yeah.
you know.
That's right. History is full of situations like that where
Yeah,
it was someone's thought comes into reality over time,
that's right.
and and you know the different generation, our generation, and your children's generation. I'm
Hmm.
sure they'll benefit even more through having you know people spiritually minded who brought them up, and then hopefully carry that on through generations and
Yeah, that's right.
see what happens with that. So
Hmm.
I've really enjoyed our time tonight, Bill.
I did
It's
too, David. It was really nice to
yeah,
be part of this. I've been looking so forward to it for
yeah,
so long.
it's a great way of communicating, isn't it? I mean, we're several thousand miles apart, but I just feel I'm in your living room, or and
Yeah, I know. This is what it feels like. Yeah.
yeah. So the more we can do like this, the better, and bring us all sort of closer together.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I hope that we'll get the chance some other time to do something, or if there's something else you or other people want to contribute to a program, or maybe we could get you playing music sometime, or play some.
Sure.
I know
Yeah.
there's quite a bit of video on you out there in YouTube, so we'll play that for the people of the channel as well, and we can put this on YouTube and see where we go with there. So thank you again,
Sure.
Bill,
Well,
for
thank you again, David, for the opportunity to do this.
thanks for your time,
Like I
and
said, I so enjoyed it, and maybe we can do it again sometime.
I look forward to that, Bill.
Thank you so much,
Thank
and
you
God bless.
thank you for your time tonight, Bill.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye now.
Bye.